This video here is about a trip I took to Europe. I actually flew from the United States and I flew to France. And I went and saw the Eiffel Tower on a 9-hour layover there. I also met with a friend. I ate the French croissants. It was amazing. From France, I flew to Krakow, Poland. And a lot of people are like, Poland? Like, Americans don't go to Poland. I had so many Polish people tell me that. But that's exactly why I went. I didn't want to go to like a touristy area or a touristy country. I went to Krakow. And Krakow is the tourist area in Poland, but it was really awesome. I really loved Krakow. I really loved Poland. Very family-oriented European culture. And I felt incredibly safe there. From Krakow, I spent a couple of nights, and then I boarded a train and rode to Warsaw. Warsaw is this huge city, very safe, so many people walking. It was such a pedestrian-friendly place. I felt amazing there. The weather was, I just timed it perfect. It was like in the mid-60s and 70s the whole time. It was like the first warm day in Warsaw, and everyone was out and about. It was so amazing. And then from Warsaw, Poland, I boarded yet another train and went westward to Berlin, Germany. And from Berlin, Germany, I rented a car from Enterprise Rental, and it was a Volkswagen Touareg SUV. It was a manual straight shift transmission, and I got to drive the German Autobahn. And so I approached speeds probably over 120 miles per hour. And it was just so fun driving north, and I drove northward to Kiel, Germany. And I forget the distance now, but it was quite a drive. I think it's like 4 or 5 hour drive from Berlin to Kiel. And Kiel is like this northernmost port city in Germany. I had 2 police officer friends that lived there, and I met them in Costa Rica a year ago. And it was just so cool to meet up with them again. They didn't even really expect me to come, and it was just such a lovely time we spent at a little burger joint right there, kind of on the coast. So it was super amazing time. I didn't even stay overnight there. I drove back to Berlin the same night. I must have came in at almost 1 in the morning. And so it was such an amazing time. So I came back to Berlin, spent overnight in Berlin, and then the next day I boarded a train to Munich, Germany. And I have a third friend in Munich, and so she showed me around Munich. It was very amazing. We went to the English Gardens. I could just literally spend all day in the English Gardens. It was so amazing. The weather was so perfect. There's even like a river that flows through the English Gardens, and there was people wakeboarding there. It was almost like people taking surf lessons there right in the English Gardens. Just something I totally didn't expect. And then this video here is about the night train I took from Munich, Germany, back to Krakow, because my departing flight was from Krakow. If you drove a car from Munich to Krakow, it's about 572 miles by car. Train probably takes a slightly more direct route. It was roughly 11 and a half hours, and maybe 10. If you look, some cases it's 10 and a half hours, some cases maybe 11 hours, just depending on how much the train has to stop. But I would say anywhere between 10 and a half to 11 hours maybe. And so this video, I just want it to be a therapeutic video for you to just relax and see the scenery from my cab window as I traveled on the train. And yes, I booked an exclusive cab inside the train, my own little cabin. And this is just a video for you to be able to see the beautiful countryside of Germany, Austria, and the Czech Republic as I just enjoyed it from my window of the train. I hope you enjoy this video. Please hit subscribe if you do. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. This is one of my new favorite drinks. It's what I call an apple spritzer. In Germany, it's called an Apfel Deathfrotz or something like that. But basically, it's just apple juice with sparkling water. So here's some beautiful countryside. While you're doing some mining there. Look how green this city is. It's so green. There's some industrial development going on here. But yeah, that drink is really good. It's apple juice with sparkling water, and so I call it an apple spritzer. It's called that. you can see the name of it in the letters, but you'll see it called different things here in Germany. But if you tell them apple spritzer, they'll usually know what you're talking about. I can't pronounce that word. I'm not even going to try, but it's really good. I'm an alcoholic, and it's just apple juice. We got some more countryside again. Many barriers blocking, so it's not like you just have this nice view of the scenery outside almost every time there's something obstructing the view. But anytime I try to flip the camera, it's like something blocking the view again. So you kind of think you're just going to sit in here and have this beautiful countryside view, but I would say more than 50% of the time there's something blocking the view. Let's see here. Or there's just forests, trees, nothing exciting to see. Probably take the train through the least developed places, you know. So it looks like the train either takes tunnels or like down in a valley, down in a gully. Trees are much higher than us, and so that's typically how the train is run. And so if there are cars, they're usually up at the top. And this is the bathroom. You have to come all the way to the back of the train, and then there's a bathroom. Sort of like a it's a bathroom a little bigger than what you would have on an airplane, but set up really similar. So it's not dirty, it's really clean. That's one thing I like about Europe, is the bathrooms are typically much cleaner than they are in America. Here's the bathroom. I'm leaving the bathroom. Shut the door. See out this back window. See the tracks. Won't focus right, but there you go. Anyway, it's hard to focus it because it's shaking. And then we're walking back up to the front. You just have to hold on to these rails because it's kind of like walking on a ship. And right here where the rooms are, there's numbers. And mine is 22, so just look for 22. There. Oops, the train is turning, so I kind of lost my balance. I know this is a shaky video. There's 22. Here's my room. And we are back in business. So, that's that. Let's talk about this bed a little bit. Again, it only has a 2.5-inch foam mattress on it. Then it has a thick comforter on it, which is way too hot. But fortunately, the way the comforter is made is you can take out, I think you can anyway, yeah, you can take out the inner padding and you can just sleep under the sheets, which is exactly what I'm going to do because it's way too hot to be sleeping under a winter blanket, and it's warm in here. It's probably, I'd say it's 78 in this train, 75, somewhere between there. Let's show you what this pillow looks like. This pillow is nothing. You can get your coat and wrap it up, and it would be more of a pillow than the pillow they gave you. So fortunately I brought my own pillow. That's just one thing I always do when I travel, is I bring my own pillow if I'm going to be gone for any amount of time. This is one of the best pillows to bring because even though it's huge like that, it can fit in this bag. And the way you make it fit is you take it, it's hard to do it with one hand, but it literally will roll up. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. Man, it's really hard to do it with one hand because it takes quite a bit of force to roll it up, but you get the idea. You just roll it up like that, and then it will stuff right in the bottom of that bag there. So anyway, brought my own pillow. So get this garbage out of the way. That's not going to cut it tonight. And we got something right there that's much more substantial. Now, again, we're going to have pressure points. Particularly if you're a side sleeper, you'll have pressure points on your shoulder and on your hip. I sleep flat on my back, so I think that's why firmer mattresses usually are not a problem. But this is the firmest mattress. Like, this is like going camping and you just have a camping mat. Imagine that level of firmness. That's probably what we're going to have here. Again, I'm going to take this sheet. Man, what was that fell? I'm going to take this sheet here, and I'm going to remove the padding, inner padding, and I'm going to use it to help pad the bed, and then I'm going to sleep under the sheet. So I'll report back, let you know whether I get a great night's sleep or not. It's too early for me to go to sleep. Sun is still shining. It's only 4:30 or something like that. It's not super beautiful, but out in the distance you can see a mountain range. I never really think of mountains being here. We're headed toward Slovenia, I think. So we have to cross 2 countries. I'm going to look in the map and I'll get back with you on exactly which country. I'm not sure the route the train is taking. I'm not sure, but I think we're going to cross at least 2 countries. So I think Austria and Slovenia, if I remember correctly. But so yeah, I don't know whether I'm going to have to show ID at the border. Again, that's what I say. A lot of times when you're trying to record, then all of a sudden you get this wall that just blocks your view of the scenery. It's a sound barrier for the residential areas. So that's why I keep pausing the camera. But again, speaking of crossing the border, I don't know whether I have to present a passport or what. I read online that sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Some people say that you can give your passport to the conductor and he will hand it to border crossing agents so that they don't interrupt your sleep. I don't know. I just don't know. So I know the man, he specifically told me keep my door locked. And it's particularly at stations when there's stops, because people can jump on, and they may jump on this particular cart, and they can just grab your door and open it up and steal your bag, assuming that maybe you're asleep. So someone said that's just something to be mindful of. It's not like a huge problem, but it is something that has happened to some people. So keeping the door locked is important. Oh wow, I'm about to miss this scenery. You can't miss it. Wow, look at that. Can you believe it? That's beautiful. So I had this sound barrier blocking me, and so I was headed on selfie mode recording, and then suddenly I'm upon just some most magnificent scenery ever. That's how it is, okay? Now we're in the slums again. Like, the scenery is ugly and there's nothing to record. It's all about just capturing the moment at the right time. I think we're going to go through some very beautiful countryside, but I think we're going to miss the daylight doing it. So here we go. This is some small town that we're crossing through. We've been traveling for, about 40 minutes, 30 minutes. So it must be somewhere 30 minutes east of Munich. I would have to check the map and see exactly where we are. I do not know where we are. If I see a name of a city, I'll let you know, but so far I don't see anything. I'm just showing you what it looks like. It's like a Home Depot there. Look at that. It's even orange like Home Depot. It says OBI. Somebody check that out. Go research that. I have no idea what it is. It's not like I'm in my country, so it's not like I can tell you anything. Okay, just look up that plant right there. Harrow Dye Marte, and that'll tell you what city you're in. Just pause the video on that and you can probably figure out where you are. I'm just keeping the camera going, guys, because I know I'm using a lot of time doing this, but you never know when great scenery is coming up. Even though the train is nearly stopped right now as it coordinates with other trains on the track, it reached speeds of about 95 miles per hour or 153 kilometers per hour. In Poland, the train never exceeded 100 miles per hour, but in Germany, particularly the train from Berlin to Munich that I rode, reached speeds of 140 miles per hour or 225 kilometers per hour. Here you can see part of the Alps mountain range in Austria. transportation wasn't nearly as straightforward as I imagined. On a train ride to Berlin, I saw this German woman board the train with her little son and mother-in-law, helping them to find the right wagon and seat, but she intended to get right back off and let them travel without her. But before she could disembark, the train door shut and the train departed. She was hysterical. She started crying and frantically went to the attendant, trying to tell him that she had to immediately get off. He told her she had no choice but to wait until the next stop, get off, and ride the opposite train back. All in all, it probably took her nearly 45 minutes to an hour to get back to her original stop. All I was thinking was, these are local people, and they are even struggling with the system. Imagine me as a foreigner trying to navigate this. Once on the train, though, the ride was extremely smooth and comfortable, and I slept a lot on them. I learned not to open the window though, because when I did so, a very strong brake dust smell entered my cabin. Most Germans seem to use the DB Navigator app to book trains. The DB Navigator app allows you to track an approximate location and speed of the train you're on, as long as you're connected to the Wi-Fi on the train. It doesn't work unless you're connected to that specific train's Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi was a bit unreliable and slow. You can book trains on other websites though. I used a number of different websites such as railclick.com, polishtrains.eu, and for this night train, I booked it on nightjet.com. As you can see, the ticket from nightjet.com mostly prints out in German, and so it's helpful to know a few German words such as Datum, date, Zeit, which means time, von, which is from, na, which is to, Bettplatz, which is my room number 22 on wagon 343, and then Zug, which means train, and my train number is 406. Look at this field. Beautiful. You can see that lake out there. Look at this, unbelievable, beautiful. The cars get a front row seat to nature. The train, not so much. We do have a mountain range there, and it's a little town, more like an agricultural town. valley here. I don't know that we're going to get a pretty view of it, but here we go. Look at that. So beautiful. For me, finding my train on the platforms proved much more difficult than I imagined. First, sometimes the ticket did not clearly specify which platform the train would be on. There were electronic monitors in the train station that specified what train was on which platform, but there wasn't always one large monitor that showed all trains. Instead, multiple different monitors showing only some trains and switching their displays. Also, even when I reached the right platform, there were usually 2 tracks per platform. It was hard to know which track on the platform my train would appear. To make matters harder, my train switched platforms 5 minutes before it arrived, and it was announced in German over the intercoms, but since I don't know the German language, I didn't know what was said. I just suddenly saw everyone running and leaving the platform and going to a different platform, so I knew something had changed. Yeah, that's my fault for not knowing German, but still a hassle. Also, the trains usually had the train number on the side on an electronic display, but my train to Krakow had nothing that I saw displayed anywhere except a sign that said Warsaw. Look at this. I would love to live in a little town like this, but still be like 15 minutes from the city. Here we go, another little town here. bathing, and there's hot water here. It doesn't get like really hot, it just gets warm, and you turn that on, you just press it down, you get a little bit of water at a time. And so I used the washcloth that they provided and just dampened it with water and just washed off myself, because I walked a lot today. I walked probably, man, I would say I walked 10 miles or so, because I walked non-stop today almost. And so I was sweaty, and so yeah, I used this to just dampen it and then just wipe off with that the best you can. I wouldn't put any soap in it because you have no way of rinsing that soap off of you. I would recommend maybe packing a towel. If you have room in your carry-on, and bring a towel, that would be helpful. I don't know that it's really worth the space a towel takes up, but I don't have no way of drying off, so I didn't put a lot of water in that cloth, and I just kind of wiped down myself, and now I'm just kind of letting myself air dry here. So yeah, you can pull the shade down here. We're actually at a station, so you want to make sure your door is locked, because people are getting on and off, and sometimes people don't know which room they're supposed to go in. They might pull on your door, so just make sure you're locked and you have your little safety bolt on. And so yeah, you don't have to worry about anyone intruding into your private space. And so that's what I did. I'm just kind of air drying a little bit here, and then I'm gonna lay down, try to take a nap. Let's see what happens. I'll let you know whether I get some quality sleep. So I'm drying off, I'll get dressed, and then try to get some sleep. But yeah, they provide soap, but I don't recommend using soap unless you want to use it on your face. I don't use soap on my face, but if you do, then go for it. You can rinse your face, your hands, your arms off, but it may be hard to rinse anything off. Maybe you can even put your feet up in there, I don't know. But if you want to wash it up, I'm just trying to say if you were dirty. Because see, here's the thing: if you sign out of your hotel, you check out of your hotel at 11, train is at 6, so you have to store your bag somewhere, and then you're out from 11 to 6 exploring, and now you want to freshen up before you go to bed, and you really have nowhere to do it. And so that's why this is handy. This enables you to freshen up a little bit, so that you, at least me, I don't ever go to bed dirty, so that's just me. I always shower before bed, so it's nice to clean up a little bit, and then I'll lay on this 2-inch mattress and let you know how bad it is, or how good it is. Good morning, everyone. So you may be wondering, how well did I sleep? Not so great, but I think the reason I didn't sleep so great is because, not necessarily because it was a bad ride, but because the mattress is a little on the firm side. I don't think that was even the problem, though. I would just say the blanket is too small. At times I was hot or I was cold, and the blanket was so small that it wasn't covering me when I did start getting cold. It's just a single person size blanket. And then I guess the other reason is anytime I'm sleeping with the apprehension that I need to wake up, and I don't know exactly when I need to wake up, I wasn't sure whether the attendant was going to come and knock on my door 30 minutes before time, 40 minutes before time, 10 minutes before time, right at time. I just wasn't sure, was he even going to knock it off. I just didn't know, because I didn't hear any noise going on in the cabin, and the train has been making all these stops. So fortunately he did come in here, and he just knocked on my door. Breakfast, it's tea and butter bread, and I don't know what this is. I'm going to open it here in a minute. But everything I can't eat. I can't eat bread, and it's tea. Maybe I'll drink a little tea, I don't know. But anyway, a great night's sleep. I slept from 12:30 till about 4. So I did get some sleep. Like, it was better sleep than I thought. But I think I would have got better sleep had I known exactly what time I needed to wake up. I know my train was supposed to arrive at 6:30. So I set my alarm for 5:45, because I was like, what if the train's running early? What if I miss my stop? And I happened to wake up at like 4:30 or so, and I looked out the window and I saw I was at the Auschwitz train station. And since I had been to Auschwitz at the first part of my trip, I knew exactly where I was, and I knew I had about 45 minutes before I reached my train station. So I immediately got ready and got dressed, and almost as soon as I finished getting dressed and ready, then the attendant knocked on the doors and told me I had 30 minutes. He told me in German, but I know that's what he was saying. So Not much of a breakfast, but you know, they tried, right? It's a little triangle that I said I didn't know what it was. That's actually cheese, and it's real creamy cheese. And this right here is apricot jam. It's actually really good. So for breakfast, I'm eating cheese and apricot jam because I can't eat the rest, and drinking some sweet tea. So do I recommend the night train? Yes, I do. It was a great experience that I would repeat. I paid 309 euros or 335 US dollars for this train ride, so it's pricey to have your own cabin. There was a cabin upgrade that had its own bathroom in the cabin, but it cost around 90 euros more. There were cabins for about $170 if you were willing to share a cabin with 3 or 4 other same gender people who sleep in bunks right over each other. If I knew the language, yeah, maybe I would do that, but I didn't want to be sharing a room with people that likely couldn't speak to me or be completely unaware of what they were saying to each other. Plus, I wanted to make this video and stare out the window, and I would have to respect everyone's bed and quiet times and space. The night train provided transportation and a place to sleep all in one, so when considering the price, think of it as a transportation/motel package deal. I booked this train only 10 days in advance, and so it would have been a little less expensive had I booked it earlier.